So choosing where to live in Dallas isn't just about finding a home. It's actually about finding the right fit for your lifestyle. Some neighborhoods offer historic charm, but come with maintenance headaches, while others have top-tier schools, but really steep price tags. And then there are hidden gems that people really overlook. So here's the deal. What makes a neighborhood the best or worst totally depends on you. It depends on your budget, your commute, the school needs, and lifestyle all play a part when deciding. Hi, I'm Tiffany Caballero. I'm a real estate expert specializing in Frisco and the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area. I am a top 1% realtor and I've sold over 200 million in homes. And I'm gonna rank Dallas neighborhoods into 5 tiers, from D to S based on data, market trends, and conversations with local residents that I've had over the years. Now, just remember, I'm from Dallas, and my opinion may be different than other people's opinions, but this is research, this is statistics, and just my overall feel about the Dallas metroplex. So let's start with Tier D neighborhoods, and this is going to be challenging to some buyers. So these neighborhoods are often more affordable, but really come with some trade-offs like older infrastructure, crime concerns, and fewer amenities. So the very first neighborhood I want to highlight is actually more of an area in South Dallas and Fair Park. And so when I'm talking about features, there's really an established area with homes that are built decades ago. They're very old homes, probably even can get up to 100 plus years old. A lot of them will be at least 60 years old and could definitely need upkeep. It's also rated for its proximity to downtown and definitely the major highways. It also is in close proximity to public transportation. And it's just got a mix of historic charm and definite areas that need revitalization. Some of the pros are lower home prices compared to a lot of the Dallas areas, close to major employment centers, and some areas seeing a lot of redevelopment and infrastructure that's being brought in. Some of the cons, which are kind of big cons, is a higher crime rate than other areas of Dallas. Definitely fewer high-end dining and just shopping in general. The options are less there. And then the school system in that Dallas really struggle with lower ratings. So those are just some things you have to think about. The price point's great and a lot of people can afford to live in that area. Just make sure you check everything out before you pick a home. The second neighborhood I want to highlight in this specific D rating is Pleasant Grove, which is far southeast Dallas. So predominantly residential area. It is going to also be older homes. It is a very old part of Dallas. There is a strong sense of community despite economic challenges, and there's a lot of real easy access to the major highways. Some of the pros of this area is definitely affordable housing for first-time homebuyers and proximity to jobs and freeways. Again, public transportation to get wherever you need to go in Dallas. Again, some of the cons, and probably the biggest one, is it does have a higher crime rate and safety concerns. The homes down there are going to probably need upkeep and significant updates. So it could be a really great entry price, but the upkeep of the property might be hard. And then another con is just the limited amenities compared to some of the other developments in Dallas. Okay, the next tier level is C neighborhoods, and this is just real solid value, okay? So these neighborhoods are gonna offer great value for the price and great for families looking to settle in Dallas without some of those major trade-offs. And the first one, and I love this area, but it's Casa View and Casa Linda. And this is on the east side of White Rock Lake. And it is charming. It's got smaller homes. They are older, but it's got a lot of mid-century modern houses. And it's rapidly gaining popularity with young professionals and families that want starter homes because they are smaller. Some of these houses are going to have like 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or 3-bedroom, 2 bath, but maybe 1,100, 1,200 square feet. And so you can get all kinds out there. It's just the price point. So the smaller homes, the older homes are going to be a better entry point. Some of the pros is, yes, it is more affordable than Lakewood, which is next to it. And we're going to talk about Lakewood in just a second. It is a growing community and it has ongoing renovations, and there's a real sense of community because a lot of the new families are moving in there. So you'll see kids playing outside and people walking with strollers. And it's just a really great area. And because of the topography and the trees and how old the area is, it's got such great walkability with sidewalks and trees and foliage. It's a really pretty area. Some of the cons are there are spots in Casa Linda and Casa View that do feel underdeveloped and houses that definitely need some major renovation or just upkeep in general. So you may go through neighborhoods that have a ton of cars on the street, that line the street. So it's a real narrow way through. So if those kind of things bother you, you're not going to have HOAs, a lot of HOAs down there because those neighborhoods were built before they really implemented HOAs. So those are kind of some things to think about when you're looking at Casa View and Casa Linda. Neighborhood number 2 in this particular tier is Oak Cliff. And I love, love, love Oak Cliff. There are parts of Oak Cliff that as you drive through it, it almost feels like Austin. I don't know if you've been to Austin, but Austin has a lot more hills than we do. And I feel like Oak Cliff has a little bit of that. So as you're driving, you could be going up and down, and there's just these really cool, eclectic houses down there. And I've talked in my other videos about cookie cutter subdivisions and how much I don't like those. And so it's really fun to drive through Oak Cliff because there are so many different styles of homes. Now, there are different areas of Oak Cliff, and some are good and some are bad. So a few things is there's such a mix of historic charm and really modern revitalization. They're putting a lot of money into the Oak Cliff area. There's thriving local businesses and really strong sense of art and a huge art scene down there. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Bishop Arts, but that's my favorite area. And it's just it's almost like a downtown. It's almost like Oak Cliff's downtown. And it's called the Bishop Arts, and it's because one of the main streets is called Bishop. And there's just all these cute little shops and trendy coffee shops and restaurants and patios, and you can just walk down there, and there's a chocolate place. You can get chocolate. There's crafts. People take their dogs down there. I mean, it's just super cool to walk around with your dog and drink a cup of coffee. And so if you like that vibe with art and all some just fun things to do, then the Bishop Arts, you definitely want to visit that while you're here. So it's definitely some of the pros is it's really great for buyers that are looking for character in different types of homes. It's really easy to access downtown. So downtown is north of Bishop Arts and Oak Cliff. So Oak Cliff is considered South Dallas. And there are some really walkable areas of Oak Cliff if that's what you want. Some of the cons, there are still really big pockets of underdeveloped areas that struggle with crime and safety. So you do need to be careful on where you're going and who you're going with. And a lot of those homes down there are much older. That's what gives them the charm. And so you could have a house that's over 100 years old. So just know going into that house that if you buy it, you're going to have a long inspection report, and that's okay. It just means it's old. And so you might want to, kind of put back some money for any necessary repairs or renovations in the future. But I love Oak Cliff. Okay, let's move on to Tier B. This tier means that they're on the rise, which means that these neighborhoods are experiencing kind of rapid growth with new developments, strong communities, and really increasing desirability for people to move there. And so they're kind of getting this influx of buying and selling. And one of them, the very first one I want to highlight is Lake Highlands, and I love this area. So Lake Highlands is actually north of White Rock Lake, closer to 635. 635 is the loop around Dallas. And so you might hear people in Dallas say, oh, I live south of 635. A lot of people determine Dallas whether you're inside 635 or you're outside 635. And so I have friends that live in Dallas and they're like, oh, I would never go north of 635. Well, that's where I live. I live in Frisco, which is north of Dallas. And so just know that that verbiage is out there, that 635 is definitely a point of reference when people talk about being inside or outside of it. But Lake Highlands is north of White Rock Lake and south of 635. It's got a very strong suburban feel, and it's top rated Richardson ISD. So Dallas struggles a little bit in their school system with the rating. And so what's cool about Lake Highlands is you can have that Dallas feel and that Dallas zip code and live south of 635, but know that your kids are going to Richardson ISD, which is ranked a little bit higher than Dallas ISD. And of course, there are a ton of mid-century moderns in Lake Highlands, and there's a ton of newer construction because they've bought homes, torn them down, and rebuilt new homes. So I wouldn't say that there's a ton of new construction, but newer homes. There are some new construction homes because they are consistently negotiating with older homes to buy them and then tear them down. So if you want that, then let me know, because I know the builders that are working down there. And one of the other pros is Lake Highlands is more affordable than, say, Lakewood or even Highland Park as you go west. Those are the cities you would hit. Some of the cons is it has increased in price over the last couple of years because it's gained popularity, and it's also a little more trafficy. So there's a little bit more congestion during peak hours. One, because it's proximity to downtown, but it's just because more people have moved there. Okay, another neighborhood that I want to highlight that I feel like is kind of a hidden gem is called the Cedars. And it's a super trendy. It's South Dallas as well, but it's a super trendy neighborhood. It's actually south of downtown, but it is rapidly developing. In fact, it's super dense in art and culture, and they're building new apartments and condos and townhomes, and it's a super creative scene. Lots of really great bars where you are going to get live music and maybe poetry readings. There's even a night, I think it's called Art Walk at the Cedars, where all the art shops open their doors and people just kind of flow in and out looking at all the artists and their work. So it's a super cool vibe, real laid back. They're very proud of what they're developing down there and the culture and the community. And so you get a cool urban vibe. That's one of the pros. With kind of a loft style living, you've got great views to downtown. You know those condos that are like glass from the floor to the ceiling? You can find that down there at the Cedars. It's great investment potential because it's still very much redeveloping, and there's so much redevelopment happening in Dallas right now, and really close to entertainment and the dining hotspots I was telling you about that have the real cool vibe to it. The cons are it's still very much being redeveloped, and it sometimes can feel very industrial because you may have these huge warehouses that are just abandoned. You know, there's still a lot of land that developers are negotiating and trying to buy, and rezoning, and so there's a lot of construction. But the upside of that is that your potential long-term equity as everything develops in the Cedars, I just think you can't lose there. But you will have to get through all of that construction and a little bit of the noise that might annoy you. Okay, so now we're to tier A. This tier is highly desirable. It's our second to the top tier, so we have one more tier after this. These neighborhoods are consistently going to rank among the best of the best, especially because of their schools, the amenities, and just overall lifestyle appeal. And the first one is Lakewood, and I adore Lakewood. And it's west of White Rock Lake. It actually borders White Rock Lake. And so the houses on the east side of Lakewood have a walkability to White Rock. And White Rock has paved path all the way around it that you can walk and get in some good steps or running or biking. You see people out there 24/7. Whether they're on a bike, you can rent canoes, you can walk your dog. There's a couple of dog parks down there. There's people that were running, talking, drinking coffee, sitting on the benches, listening to music. It's unbelievable how beautiful White Rock Lake is. And again, Lakewood is right up against it. But this is a classic Dallas neighborhood. If I were to say what is one just middle of the road classic Dallas neighborhood, Lakewood would probably be my number one because it's not super expensive, but it's not area that's being redeveloped. And so it's just that classic Dallas feel. You need to know that they're still going to be old. Most of the houses in Dallas are going to be old. I have a lot of people that don't want that. So you need to know what you're walking into. If a house is, 50, 60 years old, if it was built into the 50s, 60s, or 70s, you're going to have things that are going to eventually go wrong with it. You need to look out for cast iron. You need to look out for foundation. How old is the AC? So just all things you need to think about. And I can help you with pointing all of that out. But just know that these historic homes, these homes that are older, have such charm and they're so cute, but they might come with some upkeep. And that's okay. There's always a give and take, pros and cons about buying houses. So some of the pros to Lakewood is obviously the character that these homes have. Very strong sense of community. The foliage in and of itself, the trees are big and beautiful, and they're the ones that lean over the streets, and you can drive down the streets and some of the trees touch. It's very picturesque, very movie picturesque. It's so close to downtown. You really can get anywhere fast from Lakewood, but yet you still feel 100% suburban. And they have all the restaurants and the walking. I just think that it's the perfect little suburb of Dallas. Again, one of the cons is it is a higher price point than some of the others I've already talked about, but it comes with the pros that the others don't have. And so you are going to pay more to get into Lakewood, but you have all the amenities that Lakewood has to offer. And there are some new construction options because, again, they are tearing down some homes and rebuilding new ones. So just know that that is out there if that's something you want to look for. Otherwise, you're going to get a super charming older home that you're probably going to fall in love with. Neighborhood 2 of Tier A, which is our second to the top, is Preston Hollow. And some people may put this in the top tier. That's totally fine because Tier A is right under our top tier. But Preston Hollow is one of Dallas's most prestigious neighborhoods, and a lot of people want the name of Preston Hollow. And so it's home to business executives and even former presidents. George Bush used to live there. They've got large, super large estate-style homes with mature trees. You've got everything, from a regular home all the way up to homes in the $20, $30 million mark, depending on where you are in Preston Hollow. Straight Street is one of the most expensive streets in Dallas. It's probably the most expensive right now. But there's areas of Preston Hollow that just are super expensive. And that's why people would want that Preston Hollow name. Some of the pros is, yes, it's definitely luxury living with privacy. A lot of the estates are gated, so you can't even get on the property without getting in the gate. So there's a lot of privacy, and a lot of them sit way off the road, and they have that long driveway. You're going to also have top-rated schools around Preston Hollow and a lot of really elite private schools. And then just beautiful parks and green spaces, beautiful topography because Preston Hollow is so well cared for. Obviously, some of the cons are going to be it's an extremely high price point, and it's not as walkable as some of the other urban areas because there are neighborhoods in Preston Hollow, but the estates, it's harder to just walk from an estate, to a local dining area. So you're going to have to get in your car and go shopping or go to work or go eat. There are a ton of other areas in Dallas that could be in this category. I just don't have time to talk about all of them. So, like Bluffview is one, Forest Hills is one, Forest Hills and Little Forest Hills. Those are some of my favorite areas. And so, yes, there's lots of places in Dallas that I could put into these categories, but I just don't have the time to do it. So if you actually have a neighborhood that you feel is in one of these tiers and I have left it off, drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. I would love to know your thoughts on what neighborhoods you love. Okay, let's get to our top tier. So tier S is our top tier. It is considered the best of the best. And these neighborhoods really represent the pinnacle of Dallas living, what you think about when you think of Dallas, and offer really unparalleled luxury, exclusivity, and lifestyle. And the very first one, of course, is going to be Highland Park, which people call the Beverly Hills of Dallas. It's the most prestigious neighborhood in Dallas. It's got beautiful estates. You can just drive through Highland Park as something to do while you're here. It's that pretty. Like, I drive through it and just think, I wonder who lives there. I wonder what they're doing. I wonder, it's just stunning and it's picturesque, and it really could go into a magazine. That's how beautiful it is. And Highland Park has its own school system, Highland Park ISD. It's got top-rated schools, and it's really home to some of the city's wealthiest people. So some of the pros to Highland Park is obviously unmatched luxury and prestige, top public and private schools, your high property value appreciation. The value of Highland Park never goes down. It only appreciates because it is so coveted and so well maintained. It actually has its own police system. And some of the cons obviously are extremely expensive. There's not a ton of inventory because people tend to stay. Now, there are always houses for sale in Highland Park, so don't worry. If that's something you want, then let me know and I can help you find what you're looking for. But just know that it is definitely the most prestigious part of Dallas. Okay, so neighborhood number 2 would be the sister to Highland Park, which is University Park, often called the Park Cities. And it's home to SMU, Southern Methodist University, and it's got beautiful homes with strong community ties and definitely still access to the best schools in Dallas. So University Park and Highland Park share a school system. It used to just be Highland Park, but they asked University Park to become a part of Highland Park ISD, specifically just to have more property taxes going to all the schools. And so they share a school system. Some of the pros to University Park is you're getting classy, you're getting upscale living. There's strong investment potential because there are a lot of homes in University Park that you could purchase and actually renovate, or purchase, tear down, and rebuild. And so that is always an option there. And there's some real walkability, Highland Park and University Park, to some high-end shopping and dining, which is really great depending on where you live in each of those areas. They've got really great dining and shopping. And again, the con is definitely the premium pricing. You're going to pay the most in these two suburbs, actually cities. Highland Park and University Park are their own cities. They are not necessarily a part of Dallas. The backstory to that is that Highland Park wanted to be a part of Dallas like forever ago, and Dallas said no. So Highland Park built itself and started building some real prestige, and then Dallas was like, oh, no, we changed our mind. We want to annex you into the city of Dallas, and Highland Park said no. They're like, no, you're a day late, $1 short. We're fine now. And they went to court on it. At this point, Highland Park is its own city inside of Dallas, which is crazy. Another con to University Park is there is more traffic because of SMU. I don't think it's horrible. I've been down there in all types of hours. The rush hour is going to be the worst, but I don't think that it's anything to worry about. You would just avoid certain intersections at certain times. So all that to say that Dallas has so many neighborhoods and each one offers something unique. Whether you're looking for budget-friendly options, a strong investment, or just really the best luxury living out there, it's key to find what fits your specific lifestyle. If you're still unsure of what neighborhood's best for you, I've helped countless families navigate this decision, and I'd love to help you too. Let's talk about your budget, your lifestyle, your goals, and find you the perfect Dallas neighborhood. Reach out today and let's get started. Text me, call me. I'm going to answer really fast, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.